Well, let's continue to check in on how today's special voting is progressing. It's day 2. Siphamandla Goge for us in Bloemfontein, also Monique Mortlock in Kimberley, and Linda Kuchle out in Umbombela as well. And that's just part of our reporting team, Siphamandla, as we continue to take viewers into the inner workings of the IEC, where we're all going to be focusing on over the next few days. We have what's known as NROC, it's the National Results Operations Centre, but you are in the ROC, the Results Operations Centre in Bloemfontein. So what does Bloomies look like at the IEC today?
This evening, when the voting stations close across the province of the Free State. So behind me is where everything is happening. But for now, of course, the staff members of the IEC that are here, they are just keeping an eye on the system, trying to communicate and liaise with presiding officers of various voting stations across the province. Joe Omane will show you behind me what is happening. You know, just people really working hard. Others have gone on lunch as we speak. But I can tell you that as of this morning, there were not many reports that came through about challenges in terms of opening of the voting stations for special votes this morning. Yesterday, there were minor issues that were reported. They were quickly sorted out. Only 3 stations didn't open on time yesterday, but by midday they had opened, and by the close of business, when all polling stations closed yesterday, about 11,463 home visits were done by IEC staff members, and there were about 8,090 of people or voters who went to voting stations. So the total there is 19,553. In the Free State, you have about 85,000 people who are registered for special votes, and about 35,000 of those, if I'm not mistaken, they are what is known as let me tell you that in the Free State alone, there are about 85,000 people who have registered for special votes, and 35,000 of those would be home visits. So there's quite a lot to cover today to ensure that more than 30,000 people are visited. 11,000 people were visited yesterday. I can tell you that things have been smooth. Earlier on, we went to Velkom, which is about 2 hours away from Bloemfontein. It's a mining town, one of the very strategic towns when it comes to issues of local governance in this province of the Free State. The interim provincial committee convener of the ANC in the Free State, Mxolisi Dukwana, who happens to be the newly appointed MEC of Kokta in the province, was casting his special vote there. We were able to catch up with him and were able to put through to him some of the hard questions, as many people accuse the governing African National Congress in the Free State of squandering so many chances. Let's take a listen to what he said. He is of the view that they mounted a very positive campaign for these local government elections.
We as the organization have mounted a campaign that was honest, a campaign that was putting our hearts out, realizing that mistakes were committed, and we took responsibilities, and we are taking that responsibility to correct all the wrong things that happened, and also making sure that in this time also that our own people participate, not only by voting but throughout, in making sure that there is accountability and then they know the quality of services that they want.
All right, so Dukwana is speaking to us about the casting of the special votes. So far, so smooth. Obviously, it will hopefully stay that way. Siphamandla, any concerns that you've been hearing ahead of the main vote getting underway tomorrow in Bloemfontein and that province?
Well, the issue really has been about the weather, but I think for the past 2 days it has cleared. Ever since we got here, the weather was terrible. Many people were concerned about that. You know, we had a situation whereby I think a number of IEC tents, which are designated as voting stations, were blown away by the wind. But of course, that was prior to the commencement of the special votes. But that is no longer a concern for now because the weather is good. It's clear. Things are looking good. Of course, with voting voting, you wouldn't know. Logistically, you can only hope that things go according to the way in the morning when the polling stations open. But what was the concern yesterday was the fact that some of the stations didn't have envelopes, and that is concerning because ordinarily before or on the eve of special votes, you would have those envelopes and the stationery and all other supporting equipments and documents, sent to the voting stations. But a number of stations yesterday, very few though, didn't have those envelopes. But the IEC in the province was quick to address that. I think the challenge here in the Free State would be those voting stations that are outside of the big cities or towns such as Welkom, Bloemfontein, Harrismith and others. Remember, in this province, there are 1.4 million people who are registered to vote. There are 51 parties that are contesting these elections, 134 independent candidates. So you would need to ensure that everything is done to the T. So we hope that tomorrow there wouldn't be much or too many issues to address. The security situation, of course, is not a concern here in the Free State, even though we have seen a heavy deployment of police officers because elections are a matter of national security.
Well, I appreciate it for the moment. Siphamandla Goge from inside what is going to be the Free State Results Operations Centre, just one of many that we're going to be crossing to around the country in the build-up to tomorrow's local government elections. Siphamandla Goge, thank you.